Musical characteristics. Unity of mood. The Baroque piece usually expressed one basic mood. What begins joyfully will remain joyful throughout. Emotional states of joy, grief, and agitation were represented at the time. These moods were called affections. Composers molded musical language to depict the affections. Specific rhythms and melodic patterns were associated with specific moods. However, vocal music was the exception. Rhythm. The unity of mood in Baroque music was conveyed, first of all, by continuity of rhythm. Rhythmic patterns heard at the beginning of a piece were represented throughout. This rhythmic continuity provides a compelling drive and energy. The forward motion is rarely interrupted. Melody. Baroque melody also creates a feeling of continuity. An opening melody will be heard again and again in the course of a Baroque piece. And even when a melody is presented in varied form, its character tends to remain constant. There is a continuous expanding, unfolding, and unwinding of melody. This sense of directed motion is frequently the result of a melodic sequence, that is, a successive repetition of a musical idea at a higher or lower pitch. Dynamics. Paralleling continuity of rhythm and melody in Baroque music is continuity of dynamics. The level of volume tends to stay fairly constant for a stretch of time. When dynamics do shift, the shift is sudden, like physically stepping from one level to another. The alteration between loud and soft is called terraced dynamics. Again, the alteration between loud and soft is called terraced dynamics. The main keyboard instruments of the Baroque period were the organ and the harpsichord, both well suited for continuity of dynamics. An organist or harpsichordist could not obtain a crescendo or decrescendo, meaning the music got slowly louder or slowly softer. Pianists today can vary the finger pressure to do that, but in the Baroque period you could not do that. So hence you get the terraced dynamics. Texture. The texture was polyphonic. Late Baroque music was prominently polyphonic in texture. Two or more melodic lines compete for the listener's attention. Usually the soprano and bass lines are the most important. Imitation between various lines or voices of the texture are very common. A melodic idea heard in one voice is likely to make its appearance in other voices as well. Words and music. Like their predecessors in the Renaissance, Baroque composers used music to depict the meaning of specific words. Heaven might be set to a high tone and hell to a low tone. Rising scales represent upward motion and descending scales depict the reverse of that, downward motion. Descending chromatic scales were associated with pain and grief.